Hey students, welcome to our YouTube channel. These are odd times we're living in, so this online reality is going to be our reality for student ministry for the foreseeable future. But I'm glad we still have a way for us to connect and a way for us to engage with one another. These are odd times, they're uncertain times, and to be frank and to be honest, they're scary times. There's a lot to worry about. There's a lot to be anxious about. But the one thing I keep going back to is that Jesus still sits on the throne. None of this caught King Jesus off guard. Jesus was not surprised by anything that's happened in the past weeks and months. And Jesus isn't scared. He's not anxious. He's not worried. Jesus sits on his throne, ruling and reigning. That is our God. We are his people. And so that's an encouraging truth for me in times like these. And so what I want to do, students, I really just want to challenge you. I want to challenge us. I want to challenge myself that even in the midst of crisis, we would view this as an opportunity. We've been studying the book of James, and one of the things we saw, one of the very first things we saw in James chapter 1, verse 2, James says, "Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds." And when we talked about that, we saw that even in the midst of difficult times, even in the midst of trials, it's a time for spiritual growth. And so that's my challenge, is that even in the midst of crisis, view this as an opportunity to grow. To grow spiritually, to grow in your walk with the Lord. And one of the ways we can do that, and we can do that together, is simple. It's to love God and it's to love people. When I say to love God, I really mean in a time like this to get back to the basics, to spend time reading God's Word, to spend time in prayer. And that's the basics of what it means to love God, to worship Him through His Word, to worship Him through prayer, and really to worship Him as a church family, though that's difficult to do right now. And so that's the first thing to do, is to love God. The second thing to do is to love people. And this is difficult, but that's what we're called to do. One of the marks of a Christian is that we love others. And so what does that look like right now is the question. Well, one of the things that looks like is to practice this social distancing we've been practicing, to practice this quarantine that we've been under for the good of others. One of the reasons we're not meeting as a church family right now is so that we can love our neighbor well. We don't want to get those around us sick. We don't want to get our family sick. We don't want to get our neighbors sick. And so out of love for our neighbors, we're not meeting, even though that's difficult, even though that's hard, even though that's kind of sad, but it's the right thing to do. And so that's the right thing for you to do too, to not go out, to not go spend time with friends. And I know that's difficult and I know it's hard, but that's the right thing for us to do right now. That's a way we can love one another, is just to stay at home. But it also means we can love one another through prayer, through praying for one another, through calling our friends and family and checking on them, through checking on our neighbors, especially our elderly neighbors, and making sure they have what they need. They have what food and water they need and medicine they may need. That's one of the ways, or some of the ways, that we can love our neighbor. And so that's my challenge to us as a student ministry, that we together would view this as an opportunity to grow in our walk with Jesus, that we would view this as an opportunity to love God better and to love people better. These are difficult times and these are scary times, but rest assured, Jesus still sits on the throne. He's still our God. He's still ruling and reigning. He's still in charge. Hey, I love you guys and I really miss you guys. Be on the lookout for some of the content that's coming your way on Instagram and here on YouTube in the coming days. It's going to be fun. It's going to be silly. We're still going to spend time digging into God's Word. And so I'm also remember, I'm always here for you guys. You can text me, you can call me, shoot me an email, write me a letter. I'm here for you guys. I'm praying for you and I miss you. Until next time, God bless.